Hey friends, Gary here. Welcome to today's video. These are my Micro Four Thirds cameras. I love them so much. They are not perfect, of course, for most people. The continuous autofocus on these older Micro Four Thirds cameras are not really that great. The sensor size is so much smaller compared to a full frame camera. The megapixel counts, they are pretty low. No Micro Four Thirds cameras has ever crossed the 30 megapixel boundary, but they are perfect for me. I used to think that full frame is the way to go. I want that bigger sensor for better background blur, for that better lower light performance. I want more megapixel, I want more this, I want more that. But in the end, I realized, especially after years of real experience shooting on the field, doing travel photography, landscape photography, street photography, all those kind of stuff, my Micro Four Thirds camera actually does exactly what I need. And actually my Micro Four Thirds camera does it better than other cameras. They help me to shoot more, to carry less, and to create more meaningful photographs. These are the cameras that I actually love to use in the field. So in today's video, I'm going to share why my imperfect Micro Four Thirds cameras are actually perfect for me. Quick disclaimer, today's video is not sponsored by anyone. However, if you enjoyed today's video, please consider joining my Patreon. For our members, you will get exclusive benefits such as member-only contents and also being able to participate in Q&A sessions in the future, and also being able to download high-resolution photos that I captured myself, especially using my Micro Four Thirds cameras and lenses, with the link that I will provide right here. It is patreon.com/Gary_W. I'll see you there. Thank you very much. First point, Micro Four Thirds camera doesn't have high megapixel count, but actually for everyday photography, we don't really need that ultra high megapixel count. As long as it is more than enough for me, I think the sweet spot is around 16 megapixel, 20 megapixel, then I'm happy. Actually, let me share some sample pictures right now while I'm talking on this video so that you can get better idea of what Micro Four Thirds is capable of creating. So yeah, all of these pictures are taken either using 16 megapixels Micro Four Thirds sensor or 20 megapixel Micro Four Thirds sensor. And my cameras aren't actually new Micro Four Thirds cameras. These are, at least 4 years old. My G100 is 4 years old. And also my other cameras like the GF9 that was released in 2017, the GX85 that was released in 2016, my GX8 that was released in 2015. So yeah, some of my cameras are 9 years old, 8 years old. They are old cameras. But again, even though they don't have high megapixel, as long as I can get enough detail, enough sharpness, enough dynamic range, enough to recover some things from the highlights and the shadows, then I'm quite happy. Speaking about megapixel, I'm actually thankful that my Micro Four Thirds cameras are just 20 megapixel or 16 megapixel or sometimes 12 megapixel like my LX100, because with high megapixel, especially if you are shooting RAW like me, then you'll get file size that are incredibly big, and that will create some problem. Storage will become an issue. Processing these raw files will require more computing power, and that requires newer computer, expensive machine, and that'll cost you some money and also some time. So I'm actually quite glad that I can just use these 16, 20 megapixel sensors. Again, they are more than enough. They produce great results and I'm quite happy with them. Next, Micro Four Thirds camera sensor isn't big, but actually it is big enough for me, and there are some benefits of having a smaller sensor camera. First of all, I do plenty of street photography, travel photography, and landscape photography. And sometimes I just want everything to be in focus. And with Micro Four Thirds smaller sensor, automatically you'll get more depth of field, so you don't really have to stop down your lens too much, so you can still capture moments at higher shutter speed at lower ISO. So that is actually better rather than using a full frame camera that you have to stop down, then you'll get less shutter speed and you have to crank up your ISO. I think for me, Micro Four Thirds is just the right sensor size. And if I need that large sensor look, especially in terms of background blur, there are actually lots of Micro Four Thirds lenses with larger aperture, so I can get more background blur and also better low light performance as well. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you, with smaller sensor, lower light performance is a little bit worse compared to APS-C or full frame camera. But again, I don't really mind shooting at ISO 3200 with Micro Four Thirds camera because the grain, although it is present, the noise is present, but they are not really offending. They just look soft, and I think they look more like filmic grain rather than offensive digital noise. Next, my Micro Four Thirds cameras, they are smaller and lighter, and they don't feel hefty or premium like some other cameras. But actually, that is a blessing in disguise, because with smaller and lighter camera, even though it doesn't feel premium or hefty, they are easier to carry around. And when a camera is easier to carry around, you'll tend to bring it more often out in the field taking pictures. You'll take more pictures, and when you take more pictures, that's like more practice time for your photography skill, and you'll end up taking better pictures. So in a way, my Micro Four Thirds cameras help me to take more pictures and thus help me to improve my photography skill, hopefully. So as you can see, my Micro Four Thirds cameras, it's not the newest, it's not the latest, and it's not the greatest. Lots of things are imperfect with Micro Four Thirds, but actually they're perfect for my own personal needs. What I wanna say in today's video is this: know what you want from your camera. I think we should prioritize things that we need from a camera and let go of the things that we don't need from a camera, so that we can have the perfect camera that is tailor suited for our personal needs. Of course, if we have the budget, then we can have everything in our camera. We can have the latest, we can have the greatest, and we can have all the features, and we can have the highest image quality, no problem. But for us mere mortals, oftentimes we don't have the budget for that ultra high-end camera. So we have to be careful. We have to be really wise when we are spending money on a new camera. For me personally, I realized that I prioritize cameras that are smaller and lighter, so I can just go travel somewhere bringing my cameras and have photos that are actually better than just photos taken with my smartphone. And I want my cameras to also be fun to use, tactile and enjoyable, and providing more than good enough performance as well as image quality. You know, without this prioritization back then, again, I think full frame was the way to go. I thought that by having full frame cameras, all of my photography problems will be solved. But once I got a chance to try using full frame camera to solve my specific needs, it failed. I was reminded that I don't need this extra bells and whistle. I just need my cameras to perform well enough while being more compact and lighter, so that I can travel with them and capture meaningful moments while I'm traveling. But that's just my own personal needs. For you, maybe it's going to be different. Maybe you are doing portrait, then you'll have to prioritize larger sensors so that you can get better background blur. Or maybe you are doing wildlife photography and you need access to longer ultra telephoto lenses. Or maybe you are doing street photography more often. You want prime lenses around 35 to 50mm equivalents for your camera system that are actually really good. Or maybe you are doing something else. So yeah, I think the key here is prioritization. What do we really want from our camera, and let go of the things that we don't need from our camera. Anyway, enough about me. What about you guys? I'd love to hear more from you guys. What are your priorities when it comes to having a camera? What do you actually need and what you can let go? So yeah, let's have a little bit of a chat, a discussion. I'd love to read your comments, so please comment down below. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Hopefully this has been entertaining, inspiring, informative. And yeah, if you want to support my channel, please don't forget to give this video a like and share my videos and subscribe down below. And again, if you want to support my channel even further, consider joining my Patreon membership with the link down below and right here as well. It is patreon.com/Gary_W. Thank you very much and I will see you on the next video. Stay healthy, stay well. Goodbye.